This is WYMT Mountain Sports, your home for the Kentucky Wildcats and local high school sports.
Kentucky 2-0. Now these guys come to Lexington on Saturday. The football Cats with a home date with the Florida Gators, and after 28 consecutive years of losing to the Gators, UK will look for a way to get out of its own swamp. The Cats have been Gator bait since 1987. They do come off a big win down in Columbia, though, over the South Carolina Gamecocks on Saturday, busting a losing streak that dates back to 1999. Head coach Mark Stoops wants to keep his guys level-headed before the Florida Gators come in.
Big time. I mean, they're young kids. I mean, they're young guys in a lot of situations, and you know, I love them, but a lot of them are very immature, you know, and yeah, they're going to hear it because there's things that bother me, you know, that you have to rein in. And the focus has to be there, and I do not like to, you know, get guys uptight when we're traveling and things like that. But there's got to be some discipline and some accountability.
All right, a 7:30 kickoff for the Gators and Cats on Saturday inside Commonwealth Stadium. The game live on the SEC Network. Florida is 48-17 all-time against Kentucky. Fun fact, going into this one, 7 of Kentucky's 8 touchdowns against Louisiana Lafayette and South Carolina have been scored by out-of-state recruits. So Mark Stoops doing some work there. Also, a quick note, the Missouri game is set for a 7:30 p.m. kickoff as well on the SEC Network. That game on Saturday, September 26th at Commonwealth Stadium. Hey, Southeastern Conference Freshman of the Week goes to Kentucky defensive back Chris Westry. Got his first career sack down in Columbia. He also had several breakups and an interception that ends up being the clinching interception to win the game over the South Carolina Gamecocks again for the first time since 1999. Episode 3 of Chalk Talk with Lauren Cash and former Kentucky quarterback Freddie Maggard tonight. They cap off UK's win over South Carolina and look ahead to the Florida game.
Welcome into another edition of Chalk Talk. Lauren Cash here alongside Freddie Maggard. Freddie, Kentucky going down to Columbia, finally getting their first SEC road win since 2009. You know, once again, though, kind of similar to what we saw in the Louisiana Lafayette game. Offense, first half, working great. Second half, kind of non-existent. You know, what did you see out of that game against South Carolina? Well,
I saw 30 minutes of the best football in the Mark Stoops era, both offensively and defensively. Other than the first drive where Dorian Baker dropped the first pass, then Patrick Toles threw an interception. South Carolina on the 1-yard line. After that, it was 24 unanswered dominant points by the offense. The defense had opportunistic plays, caused disruptions on the line of scrimmage. So the best football in the Stoops era. The second half for Kentucky, offensively, I don't think it's mentality or scheme. I think that Kentucky played behind the chains in the second half, where in the first half it was ahead. I would equate it to this. The first half, Kentucky Wildcats were the hunters. South Carolina was the prey. In the second half, roles were reversed, and South Carolina became the aggressor, and Kentucky was on their heels. But to experience that adversity and take a win back to Lexington was a tremendous learning experience for Mark Stoops' young team.
Yeah, now looking ahead to the Florida game this Saturday, Kentucky riding a 28-game losing streak to the Gators. You, even when you played here at UK, still haven't beaten Florida. You know, what would it mean to this program or to get that win and break that streak?
Well, to me, I think of it as a bully that has been picking on the skinny kid for 28 years. Only now the skinny kid has grown muscles and about 5 inches and will punch back. I think Kentucky wins the game Saturday. I think it wins the game rather handily, to be quite honest with you. Talent-wise, it's close to being a wash, but momentum, Kentucky has more veteran players, and Florida's young offensive line is thin, and that will present issues. If Vernon Hargraves III plays, which is Florida's cornerback, he's going to be the best player on the football field, arguably the best cornerback in the country. Other than him, Florida's strength is the defensive secondary, but their weakness is offense. It played a very weak New Mexico State team, had a lot of yards and points then, but last week against East Carolina, struggled at times, especially on third down. Coach Jim McElwain described this team last week as undisciplined and entitled. And if that Florida team comes to Commonwealth Stadium with the momentum that Kentucky's carrying off a road win, I think Kentucky wins and wins big.
Awesome. The streak ends Saturday. You heard it here first. Kentucky looking to improve to 3-0 for the first time since 2010. Freddie, once again, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep, that'll do it. I'm Lauren Cash for WYMT Mountain Sports.
All right, good stuff, guys. Still to come.
Obviously, we got a lot of work to do, and I thought we left a lot out there.
The Bengals start the season with a win in Oakland. Marvin Lewis will tell you what he still wants out of his guys heading into week 2. The Cincinnati Bengals off to a 1-0 start after a win in Oakland in week 1. First time they've ever won there. They lost 11 in a row before that. Raider Nation, what happened? Their fans all fed up with their team all day long. That's because the Bengals did not allow a single offensive play in their territory until the 4th quarter. Meanwhile, the Bengals put up 33 points on 396 yards of total offense.
We knew kind of coming in what the environment was going to be like, and so you always want to start fast, especially on the road, and we were able to do that.
Defensively, we got things to do better, and in special teams the same way. So, got things to work on, and I'm proud of the guys. We stayed true to the process, but we got work to do, which is probably a good thing to have after a good win. So it was a good, strong win, good effort, but we got a lot of work to do. So we'll get back home and get to work.
2 WYMT Appalachian Wireless games of the week this week. First on Friday night, we go to Paintsville. Harlan County Black Bears travel to Johnson Central. The Golden Eagles, they crushed them last year, 43-14 in Baxter. 7:30 kickoff on Friday night for that one. And then on Saturday, the crew goes to Moorhead. The Eagles looking for their first win of the year. Moorhead State will host Kentucky Christian. 7 o'clock kickoff for that one. You can watch both of these games live on this TV and WYMT.com. 4 weeks of high school football down, and the #1 team in the mountains, it stays the same. Here is the new Alice Lloyd College Mountain Top 10 rankings. Pulaski County remains the unanimous #1 team in the mountains. Belfry, Johnson Central, and Southwestern go 2, 3, 4, and then North Laurel jumps up a spot to #5 over Corbin. And check out the Jags, the Red Hounds, and the Bell County Bobcats. They're just separated by a single point. Tanner, good game going on Friday. It's a fun matchup. You got #6 Corbin, and you got #4 Southwestern in that game at Corbin. Plan to be there. At least that's what Josh McKinney, my boss, says I'm going to.
Well, you got to do what he says, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Jamie, thanks. We'll wrap it all up right after this.